We've looked at planning and content. Let's focus now on methodology. We've got what to teach. How are we going to teach it? So the emphasis on relevance, decision-making, and future orientation raises questions concerning the methods to be used in population education activities. How are we going to teach it? Should we teach it like language, science, math? Should it have its own pedagogy? Should we do a little bit of mixture of this and that? All these kinds of decisions should be made at the school, college, university, or institution level. These decisions of teaching, the process of implementing this, cannot be left and cannot be prescribed by some higher-up authority. It has to be done at the lower micro level of the classroom teacher, because the teacher is the ultimate individual responsible for teaching and translating all that content to the student. Whether we use an integrated approach, whether we use a mixed variety approach, whether we use an eclectic approach, doesn't matter. The thing is, we cannot simply borrow from other disciplines the method used. The way you teach math is not the way you teach science, is not the way you teach language, and therefore those methods are not the way you would teach population studies or population education courses or classes. Intuitively, it might be suggested that methods which emphasize learner participation and practice of various skills would achieve the results desired by the population educator. In other words, lecturing and talking about these issues is not going to help. How do you get the learner to participate? How do you make it participatory? And how do you provide opportunities for learners, our students, to problem solve, to make decisions? That is key. So things like case studies would be a good thing to use in population education teaching methodologies. Where do you get these from? You could write your own, you could surf on the internet, you could find related material, but unless we provide the practical applications and implications of the theory that we are trying to teach, population education will not achieve its goal. For example, it seems that effective decision-making can best be learned through a process which actually involves the making of decisions. As I said earlier, you cannot learn skills by reading about skills. You cannot learn skills by writing about skills. You learn skills by practicing the skills. Right or wrong, good or bad, yes, initially it may not be that good, but over time, over repeated practice sessions, students will learn the different skills and will learn to do good, educated decision-making eventually. However, little evidence exists to support or refute this contention. No research has been done. Population education is a new field of study, so we have no data that supports or refutes this contention. But if we try, if we work, and in our schools, colleges, universities, we could then collect data that shows whether the contention works or it doesn't work, whether students learn better by practicing the skills or by reading and writing about the skills. But unless we have strong evidence, unless we have data-driven decision-making, we will really not know. Till that time, we have to try. And we keep trying, we keep working, we keep doing things till we can come up with research that actually supports or refutes what we claim. Methodological issues also concern effectiveness of different ways of adding population education to the school curriculum. Are we doing it subject by subject? Are we doing it integrated? Are we doing one area at a time? That also is a methodology that has to be looked at. How are we going to integrate this population education within the existing institute's curriculum? That methodology is also critical, because if we mess up there, we will mess up in the classroom teaching of it. So focusing on the methodology of integration and then focusing on the method of application and the process and applying and teaching will hopefully go a long way in helping teachers and students learn from the initial stages of trying to find out what works in population education.